Welcome back to the Full Time Ultras. Real football is back. The Premier League is back, and we've got cracking games to look forward to. We've got the gang back, some substitutes in.
What's up?
How are you doing, Raghav?
I think, firstly, I would like to mention that the post-production team took your word too seriously by removing the only Super League fan or the Super League supporter.
Yeah, we've
He's
done
been
our bit.
he's been subbed out. And one more point is that how can you say that international football is not real football? Please, you can't say with a German fan on the panel. You can't say that. Please, so refrain from such comments.
Okay. And Apu, how was the international break for you?
Mixed results. I mean, good win against the US.
Yeah.
The Mexico game was a bit, but it's fine. We'll take it. It's friendlies and
Yeah.
new coach, so
Yeah.
getting on, no problems.
And also making his debut on the podcast today, or on the show today, whatever you want to call it. How are you doing, JD?
Feels good to be here with you guys, especially after watching the first episode. And feels odd being a League One fan, being in the show discussing about the preview of Premier League right now.
Excited that the Premier League is back?
Yeah, of course. Huge games right there.
Yep.
Excited about it.
Okay, so let's get started, guys. We have the Merseyside derby to look forward to. We have the London derby to look forward to. We have Brighton visiting Manchester City, so some really big ties. This game week, the Premier League is really back with a bang. And I think there's only one way and one game that we can start with. It's the big one. It's Chelsea versus Arsenal. We'll start with you, Mr. Raghav. Arsenal ended ended on a brilliant note. They beat the defending champions Manchester City. How impressed were you with Arsenal?
Really, really impressed. They played like champions. What you look for in a champion team is that not just those good 3-0s, 4-0s, like those huge wins. You look for these 1-0 results that you can grind out
Yeah.
by just staying in the game. You don't have to play good football. You just have to stay in it, and you get that one chance. And I think Martinelli made all the difference in that game.
Yeah.
He made all the difference for me. He changed the complete dynamic of the game.
Yeah.
Arsenal looked more and more dangerous as the game progressed with Martinelli on the pitch.
They looked very stable as a team.
Yeah,
didn't
exactly. They did. But yeah, they did. And I think Martinelli was the difference. And of course, he was the one who scored the goal.
Yeah.
And
We'll talk more about Martinelli. Let's go to Chelsea. Let's get a brief take on Chelsea. Junaid, I'll ask you this. Two good results for them. They beat Fulham 2-0. The last result, they finally scored 4 goals. I don't remember when was the last time they scored 4 goals. I think Aditya will know. But Junaid, what do you make of Chelsea? Are they going into this game with the right mindset?
I think also winning against Burnley was an away game for them.
Yeah.
It's a huge confidence boost after the last season they had.
Yeah.
And not competing in, sorry Apu, European Championship right now, I think it's helping them to regain that confidence.
It makes their job easier.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
Yeah. So, what do you think? What do you make of Chelsea's chances, Junaid, against Arsenal?
Against Arsenal, I think it's going to be a tough game
Yeah.
because, as Raghav said, they are playing like champions.
Yeah.
And the impact that Martinelli brought was incredible in that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And playing against Arsenal, who were really close last season against City, but just City being City took the championship into their hands. I
Yeah.
think there will be a good fight, but Arsenal is going to win the game in the end pretty easily.
Aditya, Chelsea fan, what do you make of Chelsea's chances against Arsenal?
I think we'll surprise a few people because Chelsea have not been all that bad. We haven't really we are massively underperforming on our XG, and we played well. We haven't conceded a lot of chances.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people seem to be writing us off, but I feel like we will surprise a lot of people by showing a good. Because our last big game was, we played Liverpool in the first weekend, and we were excellent in that game.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll be blown away like a lot of people think we will be.
But in recent history,
Yeah.
Arsenal have had a fantastic record at the Stamford Bridge. I think they've won 3 consecutive games.
Yep. And
Is
Arsenal,
it 3 or is it 2? It's 3, right?
I don't know.
I
actually.
think it's 3 consecutive
It's
games. Arsenal
probably
is 1.
3.
It's probably 3 or 2, but I think it's 3. So Arsenal have enjoyed playing at Stamford Bridge recently.
Yeah, and not just Stamford Bridge. Arsenal have won like 6 of the last 9 since the Europa League final against Chelsea.
So coming to that, you're saying that Chelsea could be a team to surprise Arsenal. And do you think Cole Palmer is that one player who could be the difference for Chelsea?
He could be. He's picked up a deadlock with England under 21, so let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
But Palmer's been quite fantastic for us, I feel. He's
Yeah.
been very composed, a cool head on young shoulders. Again, we spoke last week about how we paid like 45 million for him. But I don't know.
What has he brought to the team, Aditya?
A lot of composure, I'd
Yeah.
say. And we have that creative spark in him. So the way our midfield set up, he starts out on the right, but with Enzo dropping and Gallagher moving out to the right,
Yeah.
Palmer comes into the middle and acts like a number 10.
Yeah.
So, and from there, he's been creating a lot of chances for us. And he's getting into the box. We know he's very good on his left foot. He can cut in and shoot when he wants. He hasn't shown that just yet.
Yeah.
But he's set up 2 really good goals for us,
Yeah.
especially for Jackson twice.
Yeah. So coming to Arsenal, Raghav, you said that Martinelli coming on really changed the game. And even when I was watching the game live, he brought that spark that Arsenal were missing in the second half. And it completely changed the game for Arsenal. It made them a better team. It got Arsenal's attack more forward into City's defensive unit. Bukayo Saka is an injury doubt. How important do you think Bukayo Saka's missing for Arsenal would be against Chelsea?
Massive. There's no other way to describe it because Martinelli and Saka, they're the two pivots. They're like what to say. They're the two pillars of Arsenal's attack. So that is they've been thriving on Arsenal. Martinelli and Saka.
Yeah.
Like because Saka brings something else to the game and Martinelli brings something different to the game itself.
Yeah.
And I think Saka will be a big miss.
Yeah.
I'll go out on a limb and say he's going to be a bigger miss than Martinelli because I feel Saka is that star boy that Arsenal have had.
He really
And
performs for them.
he-
He's very
he-
consistent.
yes, exactly.
And I
And-
think in the game against Manchester City, Mikel Arteta put Gabriel Jesus on the wing, which I think that was not very effective.
He's not. Jesus is not a white player. That's simple
correct.
as that.
Yeah.
And for Saka, I feel because he's the star boy because I still remember Arteta's first lineup ever for Arsenal. Saka played at right back
Yeah.
because due to their injury problems, he had to play at right back.
Yeah.
So his rise from there to the star boy, the poster man for Arsenal, like he's a real talent. He's a real talent, and I think he's going to be a big miss. I don't know how Arsenal is going to cover Saka. They can afford to cover Martinelli by putting Trossard there.
Exactly.
But I don't think Saka has a cover at Arsenal.
Yeah, they don't have a
They don't have a-
left-footed
yeah.
unless they shift Odegaard wide. But I think
I don't
Odegaard
think- no,
does his
I-
best,
yeah,
plays
he's-
his best football as
He
the attacking
needs to
midfielder.
to be in that pocket of space.
Yeah.
Like he needs to be in that pocket of space. He needs to operate where he can dictate the play
Yeah.
and create chances. Yeah.
Aditya, Chelsea are going into a fixture run which looks really, really scary. For the viewers who don't know, this is their Premier League run. They face Arsenal. Then they face Brentford at home. After that, they face Tottenham away. Then they face Manchester City. After that, they face Newcastle. And then they face their prodigies in Brighton. So... How important is this fixture for Pochettino? I know he's got those 2 wins and the pressure is off him a little bit, but going into this fixture, he does need to get some more wins for the pressure to ease off him because it could very well be possible that by the end of this fixture run, Pochettino's gone.
I don't think the pressure was on him from the start. I don't think he's expected to get in like really massive results from the get-go.
Yeah.
I think that would be unreasonable. And I think, again, we haven't played all that bad. So for sure, like each of these games is important.
Yeah.
And they're going to be tricky. And one of the main issues for us right now is injuries. And
Yeah.
you have this whole Reece James issue, who's a club captain,
Yeah.
who could start, may not start this game. But fortunately, we have Malo Gusto back, so that's
Yeah.
a good thing. But we have other key injuries as well, and Lavia has been set back, and we have a couple of people out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So that could play a part in this long run of fixtures. For once, I'm going to say it's a good thing that we don't have European football because we don't have those extra games to play.
So you can focus more on the training.
Exactly, and
ground
we
in
can
terms
rest.
of tactics.
Yeah,
And
and we can rest more players.
Just one question. Appu, do you think that Gallagher's performing so well for Chelsea has eased the pressure that Lavia is not available?
Oh,
Or-
for sure. I have nothing but praise for Gallagher right now because his work rate's been excellent. He's been all over the place. He's covering so much ground for us, and he's really growing into that. He's leading by example. He has the armband right now,
yeah.
and he's leading by example. And I really love what he's done.
So
for
do
this
you
team.
think Lavia has more competition when he comes in after this injury?
Of course, and a lot of players, because you talk about competition, Palmer doing so well can put Noni Madueke out of the squad for now. Mudryk, I mean, we're talking Chelsea, Arsenal. We have to mention Mudryk, who
Yeah.
Arsenal wanted. He might start now that Palmer is injured,
Yeah.
but he's been largely kept out of the squad by Palmer.
Yeah.
So there's competition for places, and as Pochettino has said, that if you're playing well, you're going to play.
Yeah.
You're going to start the games, you're going to play, because your name does not matter, your stardom does not matter.
Junaid, coming to Chelsea, Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson. He's the last two games also he's stepped up. He started scoring goals. He didn't start the season off really very well. He seems a little bit raw. Do you think he has a lot of pressure going into this game, especially when he's facing one of the best defenses in Arsenal?
For sure. I think Nicholas Jackson has evolved his game with the number of games he's playing right now. Yeah, he was a bit ineffective with that start, but recently against Burnley and Fulham,
Yeah.
he has grown into the game.
Yeah.
His work rate off the ball was insane.
Mm.
And I think that will help Chelsea going into this game because initially Chelsea was lacking a lot in the finishing third,
Yeah.
final third. They were, like you said...
They have the
XG
number 9 curse
Yeah.
on them. Yeah.
Of course.
Like Appu said, XG is great, but the goals aren't coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Nicholas Jackson will help to turn that around.
Mm.
And given the fact that you have tough fixtures coming in and the intensity of those games are going to be insane,
Mm.
Nicholas Jackson can step up and make his place in the final 11 for sure.
So with that saying, what's your prediction for the game?
Oh, Stamford Bridge. I think 3-1 Arsenal wins.
And why do you think that? Because Arsenal are too strong.
I think at the moment Arsenal are really boost up with their confidence defeating
They go into
City.
this game with like crazy
Yeah.
amount of
And-
confidence.
yeah, so I think Arsenal has that edge over, and because of the lack of, I feel even though Nicholas Jackson has got that confidence in him and the attackers that Chelsea are putting in,
Yeah.
I feel Arsenal still has that edge and they can overcome Chelsea.
What about you, Aditya? The Chelsea bias is tingling.
Yeah, I mean, you all call it bias, but I feel like Chelsea have been quite good.
Yeah.
So I want to say draw, but I will say Chelsea win 2-1. There are a couple of key battles, like Martinelli, obviously. Look at him. Let's see who starts opposite him, whether it's Reece James or Gusto.
But what gives you that belief that Chelsea can go and beat Arsenal? Because their record against the top teams has been terrible. Number
yeah.
one. Number two is I don't want to give any disrespect to Burnley and Fulham, but they were Burnley and Fulham.
Yeah.
Right? So, and Arsenal coming on the back of defeating a team like Manchester City, what gives you that confidence that Chelsea can go and
I think
do
if you
it?
want to,
Besides being a Chelsea fan, of course.
I mean, I think if you want to talk about confidence, you've got to talk about Chelsea putting 4 past Burnley as well.
Yeah.
That's a massive confidence boost. And Jackson stepping up, also a confidence boost. And I don't think we've been all that bad.
Yeah.
So I feel like the way we are playing right now, we could nick one. It's a 1-goal margin, but we could nick one against Arsenal.
What about you, Raghav? Your prediction for the game?
I think I agree with Appu here. Like being Manchester United fan, but I'm going to agree with Appu because
That is solely because you want to go against your brother. That
I
is
mean,
not
that is
me.
true.
I mean,
That's solely
That is
because
true.
no, that can't
for
be said.
those who
Okay,
don't
okay,
know,
cool.
his brother's a crazy Arsenal fan, and these guys always fight at home. But you
Just,
see,
Oh,
just
on
say
top.
that, but no. Just hear me out because Arsenal might have defeated City, but for me, the Saka factor is just too big to ignore.
but they beat City without Saka.
By a 1-goal margin that they scored in the 87th minute.
And it was deflected.
And what?
And it was a what?
And it was a deflected strike. It was a massive deflection that
But
sent
they
us in the runway.
prevented one
They
of the best attacks in the Premier League to not score a goal.
Without their chief creator.
And by the way, they were playing at the Emirates.
even
They were
Saka-
playing at home.
Okay.
They were playing at the Emirates.
Okay.
This is Stamford Bridge. This is a completely different ball game.
Yeah, but Arsenal have won their last 3 games at Stamford Bridge.
Okay, what was the scoreline? Do you know the scoreline in the last 3 games?
But they won the game.
I think
They won the game, but this time
They
they
won the
have
3
they
games.
have a massive hole in the squad. That in the name of Bukayo Saka. Without Saka, I don't think Arsenal can pose the same threat that they would have posed if Saka and Martinelli were both there starting in the starting 11. I would have said 3-1. Like I would have supported JD's.
So you think Saka makes such a big difference?
He does. For me, he does.
Okay.
In this Arsenal team, he does.
Okay.
So I'm gonna support Apu's prediction. You
What's
say
the-
Arsenal
what's-
bias or whatever.
What's the
2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea.
Okay, so my prediction for this game, I think Arsenal are too strong for Chelsea. With what I've seen with Arsenal in the last game, I think they showed that champions mentality. They
Definitely.
showed what they were lacking last season, the ability to grind results out without playing particularly well. That is the mark. That is the mark what makes teams champions in the end, which Arsenal were missing. So I think Arsenal would be too strong for Chelsea. I think Arsenal's defense is well capable enough to shut Chelsea. So I go with a 2-0 Arsenal win. I don't see Chelsea scoring in this one. But I think, Arsenal will win 2-0. And with that, we'll move on to the second.
Shan, does this have anything to do with the fact that your second favorite club is Arsenal?
No, I'm just...
For those who don't know,
His
Arsenal's
father-
second favorite club is Arsenal, guys.
Yeah,
Shahan says
I have
our
an
second favorite
Arsenal
club is
bias.
Arsenal.
I have an Arsenal bias a little bit. But I'm just basing off facts, right? I'm
Yeah,
just
exactly,
basing
yeah.
off where Arsenal are coming from
Yeah.
and the way they are playing and the way they beat a team like Manchester City and their record at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm not convinced with Chelsea at the moment. I need to see more from Chelsea. Winning against Burnley and Fulham is not going to change my mindset. I need to see more. So I get where the Chelsea fans are coming from. Back-to-back victories since 1 year. So I know they're getting that hype that, we can bloody beat anyone. So, I kind of need to see more from Chelsea. Maybe it could be an upset, but I'd go for a 2-0 Arsenal win.
Just kidding.
We
Shan.
move on to the second derby. This is the Merseyside derby. It's Liverpool versus Everton. This could be a really heated game like it always is. We'd start with you, Aditya, on this one. Liverpool's unlucky results against Spurs. It's been blown out of proportion for me. I think a lot of teams have got unfair results against them. Arsenal had it last season.
yeah.
And it's been blown way out of proportion with claiming that these games should be replayed. Okay, so Liverpool went into that game, they dropped points. Then they followed it up by dropping points against Brighton. What do you make of Liverpool's chances going into this game against Everton?
I mean, I think they should comfortably beat Everton. But Everton have been playing well. But let's stick to Liverpool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're right about the blown out of proportion comments, because even last year there was a huge uproar about the offside line not drawn in the Arsenal game.
Against Arsenal.
Yeah,
But
and-
I didn't see Arteta calling the game to be replayed. I think the way Jurgen Klopp has reacted to this,
Yes.
he's done a classic Jurgen Klopp. I remember, this is not because of my Manchester United bias.
Yeah.
It's because, I just wanted to get this point in, is because there was a spell where United were getting penalties.
Yeah,
Some
that was
were
fun.
really genuine, right?
Yeah.
And then Jurgen Klopp makes that comment
Yeah.
saying that Manchester United are getting way too many penalties.
Yes.
And then the penalties just stop for United.
Yeah.
And I think Jurgen Klopp has done it again, where they've blown out something which is way out of proportion. And now referees are going to have that at the back of their mind, saying that when Liverpool are playing,
Yep.
they are going to have that bias towards them in terms of giving big decisions. So I know it's hurt them in this one game, but I think it's going to favor them ahead. So that's my view on Liverpool blowing this thing way out of proportion.
I don't think putting pressure on referees is a new thing. And you as a United fan should know
Sir
that
Alex
very well.
obviously
Sir
did
Alex
it. Yes, correct.
famously does it a lot.
Yeah.
Or did it a lot, sorry.
Yeah.
And I think it would be on the refereeing team if they start giving decisions in Liverpool's favor without it being warranted.
I remember Chelsea coming to Old Trafford, Aditya,
Yeah.
and Chelsea scoring 1 or 2 goals that were clearly offside. And I think this was during Mourinho. This was during Mourinho. I think
Okay.
it was Drogba's goals when Mourinho won back-to-back titles with Chelsea. And there was a game at Old Trafford which was particularly the title decider.
Yep.
And at that time, the game didn't have didn't have VAR
Yep.
to kind of change the decision.
Yep.
But there was one or maybe two goals in that game that were clearly offside, and the linesman missed it, and United lost the title because of that eventually. So decisions have gone against teams. Teams have lost titles, but I think the reaction that Liverpool have got, the sympathy that Liverpool have got, for me is way overblown.
I think the difference here is that we have technology.
Yeah.
We have the ability to go back and review these decisions.
Yeah.
And
but even
they have,
they must have saw everyone post the game at Chelsea.
Yeah.
They must have saw that
but that
replay.
is post game. This
Yeah,
is
but
we are talking about a legitimate goal that has been
Exactly, but
disallowed.
Even now they are saying that play it again, right? So this is post game only, no?
No, but I like that
Do
was.
you stand with that decision that the game should be played again?
I don't really agree with the decision that the game should be played again because
Yeah.
these things they do happen from time to time and they shouldn't happen. And I don't want to be so trivial about something that is so major because it is a major thing.
It is a major thing, yeah. But for me, I just feel
I
that
don't
it's
think
been
it is
overblown.
blown out of proportion, but I don't think it should be played. I don't think it can be played again.
So let's get back to the
Yeah.
game. Liverpool, do you think they'll blow past Everton?
I don't know if they'll blow past Everton because Everton have been good, but Liverpool also I have been quite impressed by them. They're mentally quite strong.
Yeah.
They've shown that 10 men versus Newcastle, they won the game. 9 men versus Spurs, they stayed in it for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think they seem to have that it factor that they had when they were chasing down City and winning leagues.
Yeah.
So I think they're just better than Everton at the moment right now.
What do you make of Liverpool?
I think when we talk about Liverpool, I just have one player I always talk about. It's Luis Diaz.
Okay.
I just love him. His work rate off the ball.
Yeah.
The energy he brings in to the team.
Yeah.
I remember watching him last season with Liverpool and he was just too good. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
I think there was one game where Darwin Núñez was sent off
Yeah.
and Liverpool were losing and he just came back. Luis Diaz brought that energy in the team, off the ball, running everywhere, taking free kicks, taking shots. It's just too good. So I think with the likes of Mohamed Salah,
Yeah.
Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, I think Everton is just walk pass.
I think the biases are growing and growing. Last game it was the Arsenal and United bias. This time it's the South American bias. We have a Brazil fan
you can-
talking
you
about a
can call
Colombian winger. So
No,
the
no,
biases are just growing and growing as
Just
the
talking
podcast
about
goes on.
Everton, Raghav. People seem to think that Everton are really big contenders for relegation. But there's this stat that's going to blow you. So it's according to Opta, Everton sit a whopping 11 places lower in the league table than their expected goals. So data suggests that their expected points tally of 14.6 is identical to that of where Liverpool are right now. So they are creating chances, but they are really missing those chances, and that solely boils down to the fact that Dominic Calvert-Lewin cannot stay fit. So how important do you think is Calvert-Lewin for Everton?
He's the Sonny Basine of Everton. like Tony Singh once said, one good striker and he can do wonders with this team.
Yeah.
I think DCL is that player. If
Calvert-Lewin is literally like the Cantona, right? He's
Exa-
like
he
one
is.
player
He's-
and
he's
then
one
there are
player.
10 sticks,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Sir Alex once said, give me Zidane and 10 wooden sticks, I'll get you the
Sean
Champions League.
Dyche, give me
Sean
Calvert-Lewin.
Calvert-Lewin and 10 wooden sticks, I'll get you Premier League survival. So I think DCL is that pivotal to that.
Yeah.
Rather than DCL, I think they need a number 9.
Yeah.
DCL, we're talking about DCL because he's been at Everton for like a
Yeah.
long time and he's been the talisman for them
Yeah.
alongside Richarlison for a few years.
Yeah.
Now he's the man
Guy
that they
just
have.
can't seem to stay fit.
I seriously, man.
Yeah.
He's like, I think
It's pretty sad. He's
I think
really
he's
talented
like
as a
Martial.
striker. Yeah.
He is like Martial.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's what I'll have to say about
Aditya,
DCL.
so only Newcastle
Yeah.
have created more big chances than Everton.
Yes.
Newcastle have created 31 big chances. Everton have created 28.
Yeah.
Yet Everton have just converted 7 of them.
Yeah.
Their big chance conversion is 25%. Okay, so it paints a pretty clear picture as to
Yes.
what Everton are lacking.
Yeah.
So the chances are coming.
Yeah.
And 2 players I feel, I've watched Everton, 2 players I feel are very key for
Go
them
on. Yeah.
is Dwight McNeil
Yes.
and is Jack Harrison.
Hmm.
I think Jack Harrison in the last 2 games has completely changed has given an outlet for the
Yeah.
likes of Calvert-Lewin to score.
Yeah.
How important do you think these two players would be against Liverpool?
They will be important, but I don't see them having a lot of the ball. So
Yeah.
these players, even McNeil and Jack Harrison,
They'd be important from set pieces.
exactly, and also they'll have to make the most of what they get because they won't get much.
So how do you think Everton beat Liverpool? What do you think Everton need to do to... What if you were Daish's assistant manager? What would you be...
Yeah, I mean,
What would you what would you tell Everton to do? You know,
I mean,
how do you
first of
think they can
all,
beat Liverpool?
I'm massively underqualified for this, but sure. I do think that Liverpool have most of the ball.
yeah,
So Everton will have to stay compact defensively. They'll have to be very disciplined. They can't dive into tackles. They can't chase.
I think the midfield will be key as well.
Yeah, exactly. The
Doucouré
defense.
and James Garner has been
Exactly.
very very good for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they will need to be very disciplined in those banks of like the midfield and defensive lines.
Yeah,
They'll have to be very disciplined.
yeah,
And then they'll have to try to nick something on the counter. And of course, if you have Calvert-Lewin fit, you've got someone to whom you can aim passes. Like you can hoof it down up the pitch, and he can bring them down, and you can go from there. So I think that's probably their best chance. I don't see them outplaying Liverpool because Liverpool have an insane amount of energy, and especially in midfield,
yeah,
you got Soboslai running around like a
Correct.
madman.
yeah.
Also, it's Anfield.
It is Anfield.
It is
It is
Anfield. Yeah,
Let's
it is
not
Anfield.
forget
And
that.
I mean-
it is Anfield, and the Anfield crowd is insane.
Game over.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
So I think this is probably their best chance, but they could surprise us. I don't think they've been bad. Yeah, let's see.
Liverpool have been defensively quite frail. So
Van
is
Dijk.
there is that an area that Everton could exploit? Do you think?
Yeah, so as Aditya said, that it's going to be more of Liverpool having the ball.
Yeah,
So that means
the pressure on the defense will be lesser.
Yes, they
Yeah.
can be exposed,
Yeah.
especially with the likes of Trent.
On the counter.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like. I believe Trent is not a defender. He can't defend, and Van Dijk's form has been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I feel Everton can surprise, but being Anfield, the energy in the field with the players, with the quality Liverpool has, I think it's going to be a one-sided game.
I think the panelists seem to have a common view about Trent not being able to defend.
I-
Last episode, it was our other panelist.
No,
Google.
that's
I think it
pretty,
was.
it's
This time it's
pretty-
JD saying.
I
no, it's
think
reflecting.
that's
I think
common.
Trent is way overrated. For me, he's way attackingly. Yeah, he's fine. He's okay.
I would actually disagree with that because
Uh,
I think Trent gives you a lot going forward, and I don't think.
But
he's-
isn't he a liability at the back?
I don't think he's as bad a defender as people seem to think because there's this media narrative
I've
that
seen him
Aditya, I think-
exposed
I think-
way
mistakes
too
very often,
much.
yeah.
The
Way
thing
too
is-
much he's been
No,
exposed.
I think.
the thing is that's because of his offensive responsibilities, and that's the reason Klopp has switched to the system where he's inverted Trent and brought him into the
But that
midfield.
leaves more space behind. I
Yeah.
think that is not helping Trent at all.
I think anything comes down that right side and everyone starts to point the finger at Trent, which is a bit unfair, especially if you're changing your system
Yeah.
and you're inverting your fullback into the middle, then
See,
that's no longer
I've seen
his-
Liverpool fans saying that, because Van Dijk has lost a yard, so that's why Van Dijk is not able to cover the space left by Trent. But I've seen Konate play there as well, and I've still seen Trent being exposed.
I
Because
think-
even you playing as an inverted fullback,
Yeah.
you do have defensive responsibilities. And I've seen what Trent did at Newcastle is basically he cost Liverpool the game in that one, in the first half.
Yeah, he
and
did.
he should have rightly been sent off in the first half.
He should have, yeah.
He avoided that. So is Trent kind of is a liability for Liverpool in most instances defensively?
I think we can take up a lot of we pick on these few instances and it's like confirmation bias.
Yeah.
So you have this idea that Trent is bad or Trent is a liability on defense,
Yeah.
and any small thing that supports it is blown up,
Yeah.
whereas all his the other defensive contributions are like diminished.
Yeah.
So I feel there's a bit of that going on. I'm not saying he's the best defender.
Yeah.
For sure he has his weaknesses, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's as bad as people think.
I think the thing with Trent, he had a midfield to cover him. Like
Yeah.
in Wijnaldum and Henderson, he had a midfield that could cover his space, the space that you're talking about by Konate and Van Dijk or whatever it is. Wijnaldum and Henderson covered that space for him. They were the workhorses in that Liverpool midfield. I don't
So
And
they're
I-
just in another way, you're just trying to say that they masked his weaknesses.
Exactly, they did, yeah.
So now
it's like
he is
kind
being
of papering over the
exposed in a
cracks,
way.
like you would
Yeah.
say. Now they're being exposed, but I hope that Soboslai coming in, McAllister coming in,
Yeah.
I think they could be back, and Gravenberch coming in.
Yeah.
I think that midfield looks really, really solid. Again, it looks like a classic Klopp midfield that dominated 19. Like they challenged City,
I don't agree
won the
with
Champions
you
League.
in that way, but I think
Yeah,
McAllister playing
I think-
deeper, I think this is for me does not make sense. I still feel McAllister is an attacking midfielder,
I think if Endo comes in,
but Endo is
comes
not
in-
featuring.
if he does, then I think Endo playing there and then Soboslai playing with McAllister
Yeah.
in that three.
But then that pushes Gravenberch to the bench. I
Yeah,
know
it
it's
was-
competition, but
It is competition, but
Yeah.
if Gravenberch will play, I feel as it goes on gradually, he will be integrated into the squad.
Yeah.
It's a classic Klopp situation. He doesn't give you minutes right away. He integrates you into the squad slowly, and then once you're in the team, I think the trust he puts in his players is immense.
so with that, your prediction for the game, Raghav.
I think it's easy Liverpool, man. 3-0. 3-0 Liverpool.
What about you, Aditya?
Yeah, I think 3-1. I think Everton can get one if Calvert-Lewin starts. But yeah, 3-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool wins.
I think Liverpool are going to win this game by a fair
We
margin.
needed this.
Yeah.
We needed the Carragher impression.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Liverpool are going to win as well. I don't think it's going to be that easy for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think Everton will be up for this,
Yes.
considering what it means to the city
Yeah.
and how heated this rivalry could be.
But I think only thing I would say is that Anfield.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is
Anfield.
Anfield. Like, you know, you're
It's Anfield.
practically, if any team goes to Anfield, in most cases, they go in as second favorite. So, yeah, and I think Liverpool are
As
going to win
Manchester
this.
United fans, we know that.
They're going to win 2-0.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the champions. We're going to move on to Manchester City. It's been a tough couple of games, JD, for Manchester City. 2 back-to-back losses. It's an insane stat that Pep Guardiola has lost 3 games in a row only once in his career. And he did that at Bayern. So what do you make of Brighton's chances against Manchester City?
Honestly speaking about this, Brighton hasn't won a game since 24th September. So they have been losing and drawing, even in the Champions League. So I feel...
Europa League.
Europa
I'm
League.
Europa League, yeah.
Thanks.
So I think this is a factor that both the teams have been coming back from a negative game for them.
Yeah.
City, I feel the absence of Kevin De Bruyne is affecting them.
Yeah. And I think we'll come to Rodri. I think Rodri...
For sure.
Why do you think Kevin De Bruyne is a big miss for City?
He is the core of the team. He just gives it. He'll perform when you need him the most.
But don't you think City should be thinking away from De Bruyne? They have
Yeah,
the
sure.
likes
So
of
they have
Bernardo, they have
Alvarez
the
right
likes
now.
of Foden. Alvarez is doing
He's
very
doing
well
really
over there.
He scored
Yeah.
a free kick goal as well.
But considering, like we said in the last episode, they've spent so much. Do they have a real excuse of saying
No,
that
I
we
don't
missed
think
De
there's an
Bruyne?
excuse for them. They have to step up. But I feel that absence of Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri, of course, is really, really impactful for them.
Yeah. Aditya, what do you
Yeah.
make of City? Are they in trouble? 2 back-to-back defeats?
No, I mean, I don't think they're in trouble. I think they're fine. I mean, they're City. They start
They're
slow.
City. Yeah, they always start slow.
And you get to the final third of the season, and then they've picked up points and they're winning every game, and suddenly you don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
So I think they're fine. I think Rodri is a bigger miss than
Exactly. I
Kevin
was
De
just going to
Bruyne.
ask you that. How important is Rodri?
Rodri to that
What do you think
system?
Rodri brings to this City team?
He brings you watch the Barcelona teams of the past, and you don't really see how important Busquets is to that team because you're really focused on like the Messis, the Xavis, the Iniestas. But Busquets was so integral to that team in just disrupting play and recycling possession. And I feel like Rodri brings a lot of the same things to City right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that they don't really have another player who can do those things for them, that's hurting them a bit.
Yeah. Do you think Matheus Nunes was bought in for that role? Or?
No, I think Nunes is a bit higher up the pitch. I don't think the only player who has that profile, I think, is Calvin Phillips
Yeah.
right now. And
He doesn't seem to get into
no,
the team.
Pep doesn't seem to be too confident in him.
Please emphasize City team. He seems to be getting into the Southgate team quite regularly.
Yeah, but that happened with Maguire as well. I don't want to
Yes,
get into
I mean-
England. I have my own beef with Southgate.
We can
the
talk
show
about
is too short.
exactly.
For
We
that,
can
but,
talk about Southgate selections
The
all day.
producers are going to kill me for time. But anyway, you were saying, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's really crucial to, especially because of the way they play, the way they set up in possession, because he's part of that double pivot
Yeah.
and he's part of that cover basically.
Yeah.
And one of the most underrated aspects of his play is the professional fouls, the tactical fouls that he commits. Like it's a quick, small foul, get everyone back behind the ball, get everyone set, stops the counter, maybe gets booked
He's
sometimes.
one of the smartest in the team.
Oh, he is, for
Yeah.
sure. And like that position, so Guardiola played that position and he knows what is required from that position.
Yeah.
And he picks those players very wisely, I feel. I mean, Calvin Phillips aside. I've just said Phillips, but okay. Yeah, so I feel like Rodri is really important because Pep knows what he wants from that position. So he's just crucial to that system.
Erling Haaland has not started the season pretty well this year. He's been getting the chances, but he's been a little bit wasteful in front of goal. What do you think is the issue with Haaland at the moment? Is it just form or is it something more?
The fact that you're saying that to Haaland after he's scored 8 goals in the first 8 games of the Premier League,
Yeah.
it says a lot about the standards he set for himself. Like after last season, it's just insane. This is completely a personal opinion. I think De Bruyne missing has had an impact because
No, but-
he set up he and like I don't know what to say.
He's
Like,
getting
he
the
and
chances. So I don't think De Bruyne missing is a big thing
I
because
think
Haaland is
this
getting chances.
This is just a dry patch. He's going to blow past this. I don't think it's something to be. I don't think Pep will be really concerned about this. As long as he's getting the chances,
Yeah.
I think he's going to bang those goals in sooner rather than later.
Junaid, City look a little bit. They've had a long season last year. They've competed in practically every tournament. They look a little bit tired, don't they? They look a little bit disjointed in a way. Do you think that, or do you think it's just early City? We should not look too
That
much
is a
into
point
them.
as well that it's early in the season, but
Yeah.
yeah, for sure that
That's
fatigueness
going to
will
affect
come
them.
Up. Yeah, it
Yeah.
will come up. Even against Leipzig in the Champions League, for some time they were struggling, but then City being City made it look like we won easily. But I think towards the end of the season, this will come for the City
Yeah,
because the fatigueness, because the number of games are just ever increasing.
Yeah.
It's just not stopping or going down, and especially for a champion team like City, who's champions, they won the treble last season.
yeah.
So yeah, there is a worry for Pep. Like even the injuries can come up because of this, because the intensity of the game is just increasing day by day.
Yeah. Aditya, do Brighton have a chance in this game? Can they beat Manchester City at the Etihad? Because I have seen teams go to the Etihad and beat Manchester City. The likes of Palace, the likes of Brentford did it last
Leeds.
season.
Yes.
The basis of these teams defeating Manchester City was them having a very strong defensive core. And for me, Brighton are leaking goals left, right, and center. Do you think that is a disadvantage going into this game for Brighton, or do you think they could? Do you think De Zerbi could pull a rabbit out of the hat and inflict more misery on Guardiola?
I think they can. I mean, I wouldn't write Brighton off just like that. I know they have. I mean, they have their own share of injuries. Like Pervis
Yeah.
Estupiñán is a big miss for them.
Yeah. Do you think he's a big miss?
I
He
think
was
he is.
exposed defensively, a
But
lot
he is
as
so
well.
crucial to their
their-
attacking setup.
Like Trent in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I do think Brighton can pull this out of the hat. I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion. But Brighton, for me, they struggle more against teams that sit back.
Yeah.
Which Pep himself, like
Yeah.
City teams, will not do that.
They'll not do bad.
They're really good at baiting the press and playing through it. So I think it'll be a very interesting tactical battle because they're both top managers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think Brighton can be written off. But I do favor City to win.
Do you have something to say about Mitoma? You think Mitoma will be key?
Yeah, he's been up and down a bit this season.
Yeah.
But also that speaks to Brighton as a whole.
Yeah.
Because they've been up and down this season and they haven't really. I mean, no one expected them to get battered by Villa. That was horrible.
Yeah,
I did not see
yeah.
that coming.
Nobody did.
Yeah, I don't
Nobody
think
did.
anyone did.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends on what Brighton shows up and what De Zerbi has to play with and what Pep does.
So with that, what's your prediction for the game?
I think City will win it 2-1.
It's going to be a tough game.
It's going to be a tight game.
You don't think City are going to blow Brighton
I
away?
do not think so.
Raghav, what's your prediction for the game?
Just one question before I give my prediction.
Yeah.
I think is Rodri back for this game?
Rodri
I
is
think
back.
he's completed his suspension.
Rodri's back, yes.
I'll go for a 2-2 draw. I'll go for a 2-2 draw.
Why do you say that?
Because just
Rodri
as-
coming in back and you think City are going to draw?
because I agree with Appu that Aditya, sorry. Let's cancel that out.
Potato.
Potato.
Yeah.
Because City don't sit back, and Brighton are dangerous on the counter attack.
Yeah.
Joao Pedro is there, Mitoma is there. Their attack, they are a good attack. They're not a bad side.
Yeah.
I think on the counter they have they have a good chance.
Mm.
And if they can stay compact, and they're really good at playing out of the press, they're really good. Jason Steele is the key, and then Lewis Dunk and what that midfield is like incredible. I think they can hold City to a draw, 2-2 draw.
That's a pretty controversial.
Yeah,
It's bold.
It's
It's
pretty
really
bold. Yeah. What about you, JD?
I think it's going to be a very frustrating game for City. But I think in the end,
Really?
they'll manage to bang goals. So maybe 2-0 City
2-0 City.
in the end.
I'm going to go bold as well. I think City are going to just brush past Brighton. I just feel that. I feel there's a big haul coming in for Haaland. I've kept him as my fantasy.
Haaland.
I've kept him. I am backing Haaland over Salah this week as my fantasy Premier League captain. I just think Haaland is due a big haul. And I think Brighton are exactly that team that Manchester City have been looking to face. A defense that leaves a lot of gaps. The fullbacks that bomb forward, which I think will give City's wide men more space up front. I know that can happen on the other side as well, but I think Walker and whoever, whether it's Guardiola or whether it's Ake who plays over there, are too smart enough to neutralize Mitoma and March on the wings, or whether it's Adingra as well on the wings. So I feel City are going to blow past Brighton. I'm going to go bold as well, since you guys have gone bold. I think it might be a 4-1. It might be a 4-1 win for City.
That's massive.
I think they're absolutely going to blow past Brighton. We'll move on to the next game that we are focusing on, and we are not looking at Manchester United. We are not looking at Tottenham Hotspur. We are not looking at Newcastle United, but we are focusing on Aston Villa versus West Ham United. These two teams have surprised a lot of us. I would not say Aston Villa that much, but West Ham United. Aditya, what has changed for West Ham United? They've sold Declan Rice for a record fee. Do you think they've purchased very well? Do you think that they've had a good transfer window? And is that a change, or has David Moyes done something different?
I think it's a mixture of a few things. It's been they've been quite poor. I mean, I don't say they're quite poor, but they've been pretty average, I'd say. And their stats are not really. They make for grim reading, I feel, because their XG stats.
Yeah.
They've scored 15 from an XG of 12.2, and they've
Yeah.
conceded 12 from an XG of 16.3 against.
Yeah.
Which is quite. I mean, they're overperforming quite a bit. So I think that should neutralize, like they should normalize over the course of the season.
Yeah.
They started well, I feel. The
Yeah.
Chelsea result could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
Enzo Fernandez
Yeah.
scoring that penalty could have changed everything.
Yeah.
They were very good against Brighton.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've been up and down. It's been a mixed bag, I feel, for them. Their transfer policy is quite good, though, I feel.
Yeah.
They brought in Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
Good signing. They
Yeah.
brought in Kudus, who they're integrating very slowly into the squad.
Yeah.
And one of the key things that's happened from last season is that because of Rice bombing forward, Rice was the box-to-box in that double pivot.
Mm.
Soucek had to stay back.
Mm.
So Soucek was being limited, and it showed in his numbers last season.
Yeah.
But this time, no Rice.
Yeah.
Soucek's got that freedom to bomb forward. And
Yeah.
the big signing for them, I think, is Edson Alvarez.
Yeah.
Edson Alvarez just
Has replaced
patrolling.
Declan Rice
Exactly.
very well. Yeah.
And he's not replaced. He's basically playing that role where he's patrolling that back four. He's standing in front of them and he's sweeping up everything in front of them. and that's been quite well. And he's been doing that quite well. I'm sorry.
I think we're overlooking that another big signing of West Ham, that is James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah. He
He's-
perfectly fits into Moyes'
Exactly,
mold of
yeah.
putting that set piece and scoring that set piece
Aguerd is there,
Yeah.
like the Ogbonna, like those big defenders.
Yeah.
Like, Moyes thrives on such players, and JWP is like match made in heaven. Moyes and Ward-Prowse are a match made in heaven. One more thing is
talking
that
about Aston Villa.
Yeah.
What do you make of Aston Villa's chances in this game?
I seriously don't know if they can lose 5-1 to Newcastle and beat Brighton 6-1.
Yeah.
I think it shows to me that they're inconsistent also. But I think Emery is doing a really good job.
Yeah.
I think Aston Villa is gonna take this game.
Aston Villa
Aston
should.
Villa-
They're very
they
good
should.
at home.
Yeah, they're too good.
You agree with that? Aston
I
Villa
think
are
Ollie Watkins is in
Is
like
brilliant.
incredible form as well.
Hmm.
He's the top scorer for the team right now and the top assister as well. So I think it's going to be a good match between them.
good. Yeah.
Like both the sides have good team
Yeah.
to fight against, so it will be interesting to watch.
Okay.
I think one thing is that apart from Watkins,
Hmm.
even Musa Diaby this season,
It's been a fantastic
he's
signing for them.
been a really good signing.
Yeah.
And I just one point that I think Leon Bailey and there's something about Musa Diaby and Leon Bailey.
yeah.
Like Bailey was signed first at Bayer Leverkusen, and then Musa Diaby came in later.
Yeah.
Then Bailey left
It's
for
been
Aston
the
Villa,
same trend.
and
Exactly.
then Musa Diaby has left for Aston Villa, and he's replaced Leon Bailey.
Yes.
Like that's
So Aditya,
something.
what do you make of these two teams finishing in Europe? They are going against each other today. On Saturday. They're going. This game's on Sunday.
Yep.
They're going against each other. Do you think these teams will be around there fighting for these European spots, or do you think
I think Villa will
they'll
be.
drop off?
I think Villa will be. I think
Yeah.
West Ham will drop off
Okay.
because they've been overperforming, as I said, and even Areola has been asked to do a lot more than he should be.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is sustainable. I think they'll drop off.
Yep. So with this, what's your score prediction for the game?
I think Villa will take this one. I think it'll be fairly comfortable. I feel. I think it'll be 3-1.
3-1 to Villa.
Yep.
Watkins to score.
Yeah, Watkins must score.
Is he in your FPL team?
No, he's not, but I think he will score.
Damn.
Might get him. Let's see.
Deadline's not here, bro.
What do you say?
I hope Aston Villa wins 2-1.
Watkins in your team,
Yeah,
no?
Watkins. Yeah, he is my game changer. I want him to score.
I
want
wouldn't
him
be
to
surprised if
assist.
JD captains Watkins this weekend.
No, I
seriously
Captain
wouldn't
him
be
next week
surprised.
against Luton.
Yeah, then that's a better bet.
Yes. And you, Raghav? Oh, sorry. What was your score? I missed it.
2-1.
2-1.
I'll go 3-0 Aston Villa
3-0 Aston Villa.
because
okay.
I have Matty Cash.
Okay.
I have Matty Cash. I want that clean sheet,
Clean
man.
sheet
Come
as
on.
well.
So you're just giving your predictions based on the FPL players you
हाँ,
have.
यही
No,
चालू
no,
है, FPL ही
Come on.
चाहिए.
I even have JWP in my team.
Okay.
But I want, I feel that Aston Villa is just too
I thought you
strong.
were going to say JW Marriott, but but okay. James Ward-Prowse. Okay. For me, I think Villa will edge past West Ham because I think West Ham away can be quite.
Yeah.
West Ham as an away team can be quite tricky to play against because they'll set that low block. And Moyes is really, really good at that. And the West Ham defense is also very good at that.
Yeah.
And on the counter, they do have the likes of Antonio who can just bulldoze past
Antonio
defenders.
has been in poor form though. He's not scored in his last 6.
Yeah, but you never know when these guys can pop up. It's West Ham, man. Like, these guys just...
It'll be interesting to see what they do with Kudus because
Yeah.
Moyes wants to move.
There are apparent rumors that Jared Bowen
Yes.
could be played centrally and Kudus could play...
Moyes has expressed his interest in doing
I
that.
have Bowen in my team, so
Yeah.
that's good news for me.
Moyes
Kudos to
has
Moyes
said
for doing
he
that.
wants
Oh,
to.
the analogies. and
God's sake.
So with that done, we'll move on to the remaining game predictions. We'll quickly get these done. We'll start with Sheffield United, Manchester United fan. We'll start with Sheffield United and Manchester United. United
What do you
are
want me to
definitely favorites to win this game, right? Sheffield United.
You think so?
The stat, if United do not win this game, it's really big pressure on them because Sheffield United are defensively the worst team in the top 5 leagues of Europe. So definitely United have to win this.
I think this season have to win and will win have been two very different things for Manchester United. I think we said the same thing for Crystal Palace. We all know how that ended.
Yeah.
But what do you think will happen?
I think the Manchester United bias has to come in. I'll say
Yeah.
let's go for a 2-0 United Manchester United. 2-1 Manchester United.
2-1.
I think they're going to
What do you think,
get
Aditya?
lost, man.
Quickly.
Sheffield United have conceded 22 goals. So
Yeah.
I think, as far as I'm concerned, I think United are going to win 2 or 3-0 at least. 3-0, I'll say 3-0.
3-0. JD?
I think United should win, but I feel there will be an upset at the beginning of the game.
Of course,
I think Sheffield will score first.
Yeah, so they will concede a goal and then
United will come back.
United will come back.
So-
So 2-1.
2-1.
Onana error.
Oh yeah, for sure. We have
Oh,
to
come
count
on,
it in.
man.
If only anti-jinxing works, hopefully. I think United should win this as well. It's Sheffield United in the end. And I think they need a good result going into next game week, which is the Manchester Derby.
Yeah.
So I think a win
Gonna get
against...
whooped in that, man.
Yeah,
Get all the goals you can right now.
a win
Thanks.
against Sheffield United. I think that's going to happen. Fulham versus Tottenham, Monday Night Football, Raghav.
Spurs. You can't bet against Spurs. Son, Madison, like too much quality in that team.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go for 3-1 Spurs.
You, Aditya?
Yeah, I think it'll be comfortable. I think it'll be 3-0. I think it'll be 4-0
Fulham are not
actually.
very good, are they?
Fulham haven't been good. And
You all played them away as well, right? It was
Yes.
at Craven
I-
Cottage, right?
I think it was at the bridge. I'm not sure actually.
Okay.
But they haven't been very good. Leno has been giving way too many save points on FPL because their defense has been so leaky,
Yeah.
and he's had to save so many shots. So I don't think they've been good, and I think Spurs will get it done. So
What about you, JD?
I
Quick
think-
prediction?
Since Mitrovic left, that leadership in the attack has been lost.
Yeah.
Plus, think it should be a game that Fulham. This is the game Fulham is going to lose.
Yeah.
There's nothing much to say on this. It's just a game
I
for.
just think that
Son
Carlos
Heung-min to score?
Okay, so I think
I'm thinking of captaining him, so I
Nah,
need a hat trick from him.
just as an FPL advice, do not captain Son because he has this tendency of Postecoglou removing him after 75 minutes.
Yeah.
So I would suggest don't captain Son. And for
I
any
think
of the
this is the
viewers
game
who
for-
want to captain Son, please don't.
this is the game for Richarlison, maybe. maybe
We
it could
always
be,
say
you
that,
never
then he
know.
just
No,
No,
but
goes
Goes
no,
takes his
they-
shirt off, then it's offside by VAR.
No, I think this is the game for Richarlison, and Madison has been in incredible form.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah, I think it's a Tottenham win
it's
for me.
it is
as
a
well.
Tottenham win, but I think it's a,
I think they will win 3-1 for me.
I think this game is for Richarlison.
Yep. JD, Newcastle United versus Crystal Palace.
Oh, you're asking me about Newcastle. We lost to them.
Oh, I just remembered.
We were thrashed by Newcastle in the Champions League.
PSG fan in the house, guys.
Yeah,
do you
I
think
am a
do you think
PSG.
Crystal Palace can produce a better performance than Paris Saint-Germain? I think so. Defensively, I'm pretty confident.
Oh, yeah.
Pain.
I
Okay,
think
this
Joachim
is-
Anderson can perform better than Marquinhos.
I think, I think Newcastle has been in incredible form. And also considering, like, is it the home?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing at
Oh.
home.
Newcastle at home.
It was dreadful to watch.
They're
PSG
blowing.
play
They're
against them.
blowing past Palace.
Their-
What's your
their
prediction?
audience is explosive. So I think it should be 3-0.
3-0. Aditya.
I'm going to go 2-all. I'm going to say
Wow.
Palace will.
Bold.
Actually, no, I'll go 1-all because I don't think Palace have that many goals in them,
Okay.
but I do think they're solid enough to maybe
At
keep
St
Newcastle.
James's Park, you think they can keep Newcastle quiet?
You never know because again Newcastle have also not been very consistent. I feel I don't I don't know what to say about Newcastle right now because they beat PSG 4-1. They got smacked by Brighton 3-1, and like Brighton are a very good team, no doubt. But I feel like they haven't been very consistent, and this could be a controversial view.
Inconsistent.
For the record, Isak owner right here. Isak owner, that the guy giving the prediction.
Yeah, I
Isak
have
owner.
Isak. For now,
Saying
I
1-all.
have. Yeah.
What's your prediction?
I think Newcastle is going to win pretty easily.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 3-0 Newcastle.
I'm going to go with 2-0 Newcastle United win as well. Hopefully Almiron scores. He's in my FPL team. But
I want Isak
we'll
brace.
move on to just quick predictions. Bournemouth versus Wolves. JD,
2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves.
I you know.
You
since-
think Bournemouth are going down, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know why I have this attraction towards Wolves
Yeah.
since Adama Traore. So I think
He's left, but
I know he has left, but
Yeah.
I've been watching their games,
yeah.
so I have that bias towards Wolves.
Wolves have turned it around, Apu.
Yeah, they have. They've been quite.
Wong
decent.
has been brilliant. Wong
Yeah,
and
Wang-
Pedro
Wang
Neto
is
have
an-
been
yeah, for sure.
brilliant. Yeah.
I feel like they've been quite decent,
Yeah.
and I do expect them to win this game.
What's
Pack
your
of Wolves are
scoreline?
always dangerous.
2-0.
2-0 to Wolves. What about
Yeah.
you?
I think a pack of Wolves will always be dangerous, so I'll go for
Why don't
2-0
you say
Wolves.
that 3-4 more times?
Yeah, I'll
I think that was off camera, that's why I had to say it on camera.
I'll have to back Wolves as well. I think Wolves are going
Yeah.
to win this game. I'd say 3-1 for Wolves. We'll quickly get to Brentford versus Burnley. Raghav, quick prediction.
I think Brentford are too strong.
Yeah.
Brentford, and I think Burnley are early favorites to go down.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go like 2-0 Brentford. They don't have too many goals in them, but 2-0. Yeah.
Aditya.
I'm going against the trend here. I'm going to say 2-1 Burnley.
Of course, Aditya goes against the trend.
I'm
Surprise, surprise.
Damn. Okay.
I'm going to
Surprise,
say
Yeah, I know
surprise.
you really have a soft spot towards
I
Burnley.
feel like they've been good and they play like they've stuck to the principle. So
Yeah.
I think they will come good sooner or later. So I think they'll win.
JD.
I have no clue about this, but I'll say.
We need another
Average Liga fan.
We need another change in the lineup next week.
I'll just give a wild guess. It's 1-1.
1-1. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. And I think Brentford are going to beat Burnley quite comfortably. I think 2-0 for Brentford. And the last fixture of this game week.
I think Appu thinks Burnley will win because he thinks he's in good company. Thanks, guys.
I think that's
Thanks,
enough
guys.
for
Thank
this
you.
episode.
Thank you.
The last game, Nottingham Forest versus Luton Town.
I'm gonna go.
Forest win.
No, I'm gonna go Luton win. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Luton
All
win.
episode you've been giving me a lot of.
And he just
Big-
goes and
no,
says
because
Luton is going to beat
Luton
Forest.
I mean, come
What?
on. I mean,
Luton win.
No, because I saw the Spurs game. They lost 1-0 to Spurs. To 10-man Spurs, they've lost 1-0. I think they can win. They
It
can
was
win.
10
Oh my
men
God.
Spurs.
I think they can win.
10-man Spurs beat them 1-0.
I think they can win. That's my opinion. Come on, guys.
No,
I think 2-1 Luton.
know.
I'm only
They
taking-
defeated Everton.
I'm
They
only-
defeated Everton.
I'm
Okay.
only taking umbrage to the fact that you've been giving me a lot of crap for making bold predictions so far, and now you've gone with Luton win.
I have made my set of bold predictions by saying it's a 2-2 in the City Brighton game.
Fair enough.
So, like, don't just give me stickman. Come on.
Okay.
I think they beat
Aditya.
Everton. That's why I'm saying that.
That
Your
is true.
prediction?
They did beat
Forest to win
Yeah, I think Forest will win. this one.
comfortably. Right?
Yeah, I mean not too comfortably, but like 2-1.
2-1
I've
Forest.
given
JD.
too many 2-1 predictions.
Nottingham has been very smart with the transfers
Yeah.
for the last few seasons. So
They
I
bought
think
in a lot of players, but their 40 players have performed better than the 40 players of Chelsea.
I have nothing to say to that.
Yeah.
So I think
coming in hot.
Nottingham should win
Yeah.
2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, it's Luton.
Yeah. I think Nottingham Forest. It's Luton in the end. And I think they are the favorites to go down. So I think Forest are going to beat Luton Town. And with that, we've come to the end of the prediction show. It was lovely to have you guys
Yep.
again on the podcast. And the first episode went up and we got a lot of love from you guys. 830 views and counting, 120 subscribers. So I'd just like to say a big thank you. And we've had some difficulties in the audio, and we'd really I'd like to apologize for that. But it's just a first attempt for us as well. We're learning a lot of things, but we're so happy with the support you've shown us, and we'd like to grow, of course, and that will only be possible with you supporting us. So I'd want you to like, subscribe, and share this video. And we'll see you guys next week for the review. I think they're going to be like brilliant games. The Premier League is finally back, and we can't wait to get to see real good football. We'll catch you in the next one.
And please let us know in the comments below how you like my analogies. Brilliant ones. Thank you.
Do follow us on our social media apps.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Peace out.